cannot wait to do this video for you guys. I have been dying to talk about all of Natasha's promo pics and everything that she has to say about the new retro glam palette. So I do not have the palette. This is just a commentary video. I love talking about makeup news from my favorite brands and speculating and chatting with you guys, as well as allowing you guys an opportunity to ask questions for when I do eventually review this. So this is like a shop or drop, but you already know I'm shopping it. So it's just a commentary video. I don't know, kind of difficult to explain, but we're just talking about the launch and the promo. So this weekend, Natasha Denona finally revealed her retro glam palette, which was leaked actually months ago. And then finally, when it got leaked on Trend Mood, I did go ahead and do a shopper drop on it with the leaked photos that we had from Miss Casey Bell Beauty, who is doing an amazing job of swatching, looks, all of that. Make sure you guys go ahead and give her a follow. So I've been anxiously awaiting to see Natasha's take on it, because while Casey's was so helpful, I wanted to know what was going through Natasha's brain. Why was it called retro glam? What idea did she have for the textures? All of that. So finally this Saturday, she dropped all the info that we needed to know. And I just wanted to talk about it since I haven't gotten a chance to show you guys the promo pics and kind of walk you through what's going on in my brain with these. So right now, just so you know, the retro glam palette from Natasha Denona, it's available on pre-order on the Natasha website, but it's actually available today on the Sephora app. And why that is so important is because today is the last day of the Sephora sale. So if you think at any point down the line you are going to pick this palette up, you should do it today, because you're going to be able to get it at a discount today only. So especially for those of you who are Rouge that can get that 20% off, today's a good day. I'm kind of dumb because I do experience FOMO. I ordered it from the Natasha Denona website. I just, finger happy. I was like ready. I pulled the trigger so fast. So I did order it from the Natasha website, but Sephora was the smarter option. You can get a discount. But anyways, let's take a look, okay? So we are going to start off on Instagram. At least for me, that's where I check the Natasha Denona updates. So I'm going to scoot over to the side. Unfortunately, I could not get this up this weekend. As much as I would love to get this up day of, when they do leaks on Saturdays and Sundays, we don't got weekend plans. So I just figured I'd save it for today. And it's perfect anyways, since it is now available on the Sephora app today anyways. So this is on Natasha Denona's Instagram. This was her first leak. It says retro glam is coming, and it's just got the palette, like the curves of the palette. Anyways, let's move on to the more interesting one. Here is her video for it. This is the first reveal photo we got. Love this video. I think it is so cool. Now listen to this. This is what she said, and this answered questions that I had. My new retro glam palette was inspired by the color story of my beloved mini retro, which we knew that, it looked like it, and the refinement achieved through our best-selling glam palette. And that's what I needed to know. It was called retro glam, and I was like, is this her idea of retro and glam having a baby? And that isn't necessarily her thoughts, but she kind of wanted to merge the styles. So she said, I wanted to merge styles that add a spark of glam. So that's where the glam comes from, because it does kind of have sparkles, a little bit of sultry glam going on, to the nostalgic vibes of the past. The retro glam palette is the perfect balance and untraditional blend of unique romantic sage shades, vintage pinks, and green undertoned taupes. This palette sets the ideal combination of playful retro colors to create wearable looks. Now, I don't know about that last part, to create wearable looks, but yeah, so she did create this palette with glam and retro in mind. In my opinion, looking at the palettes themselves, I obviously see the retro inspiration way more. Just the basic tones were multiplied into a bigger palette for this, but I can see where she said she got the refinement achieved through the glam palette. I think because the glam is cool and it has those sparkles, I can see it. Not very much though. To me, if she had called it like just the plain old retro palette, I gotta get it good, but sure, I'm happy she brought in that glam inspiration. And here it is. This is the very first actual promo picture from Natasha Denona themselves of what the palette's gonna look like. Now, I would go more so by Casey Bell Beauty's photo, which is definitely more nude muted compared to this. This one is much brighter, but I've been wanting to see what she did with the promo photos because that is the vision. Regardless of how it shows up in person or not, what they do in the promo photos is the vision that they have for the marketing and what they want us to see. And it looks brighter, I would say, in here, particularly the green tones, which look a little bit more wearable in Casey Bell Beauty's photos, which I think are more true to life, honestly. Every brand is going to kind of amp up what you see in their promo photos. And this is exciting. It says that this is all new shades, meaning that all of these do not exist in another Natasha Denona palette, which she does in most of her launches. She'll pick like 1 or 2 shades and put them in the palette that's new. This is one where they all are brand new, so we'll see if we can find any dupes or not. But that is really exciting. I'm happy to see all new 15 shades. It is a midi size, we did know that, and it's going to be $69. Here is another promo image that they have. I mean, this one looks a little bit more pastel and less bright. I love that the palette has this pink to green fade on the front, and she said that this palette actually has plexiglass over. It's the first one that they've done, and when you turn it, you see... It's difficult to explain. I'll see if I can find a video of it, but it actually is very, very cool. I think it adds a lot to the packaging. So while I said this is available on Sephora's app, it will be available November 8th, like officially, and then I think November 11th in stores. That's what it says here, but you know, she always has like a billion launch dates for her stuff for all of the different countries. I'm kind of disappointed because I actually did see all of her live swatches, but they posted them on her story, so those disappeared. But they looked really beautiful, as always. She always digs her fingers into the pans and like takes out half of the product. That's how she gets hers to look so creamy and thick and delicious. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't show you all of the live swatches like I wanted to, but keep in mind, her live swatches, I believe they're unfiltered. However, she gets a lot of help from lighting and editing, and she also literally just like presses so hard in the pans. But it really is good if you want to see the true color, but unfortunately in this case I can't, Natasha. So we are going to go ahead and head over to the website so that we can get the nitty-gritty. So when you go to the Natasha Denona website, who by the way did semi-recently redo her website, and it was much needed. It looks so much more beautiful now. You can see one of the looks created. Love what they did with the false lashes here. My concern about this palette is how the colors are going to translate onto the eyelids. While I think the color story is so pleasing to my eye, I do worry about the looks that I get and if I'm going to like them. Like, this look is cool, but honestly, I don't love it. I feel like it's a little random, but we'll see. So you can pre-order now. You're going to click on that and it's going to take you right to the page. Again, this is actually a very cool winter look, and this is one that I wouldn't necessarily know at the top of my head to create a look like this. But I don't know that I love it. I want to talk about some of the looks with you guys. But as you can see on the website, you'll see the description here, bringing 2 of Natasha's most celebrated creations into a new midi-sized eyeshadow palette concept. And actually, this is a little bit of a better description of the relation between mini retro and glam. So they say this dynamic color story combines the greens, pinks, and neutral nudes of the mini retro with a variety of seductive glam eyeshadow palette finishes, and that I can totally see. I think that's the best description of what the relationship of the palettes are. So I wanted to look at the looks with you that she created, because this is one where I feel like I could be a little unsure of when creating looks. So I wanted to see what we could get and how they translate to the eye. This one's very cool, a little too artsy for me, but I actually like this combo of colors for the winter. I think that's really fun. Another one, very different from the first 2 looks we've seen. We have a little bit of the greens in the outer corner and then pink here. This one is actually very fun, and it's very retro to me as well when I think of the mini retro palette. I like this one. This one, I don't know if it's a look that I'd love on myself, but that's kind of the look that I'd imagine in my head if I were to create a look with this palette. The next one, see, this is one I would not have thought of creating. I believe this is the one that was on the front of the website. Actually, it's kind of cool in this photo, but I definitely would not have combined like the whitish shades right here with the green, and then it looks like we have like the dark green out here. Actually, I think I might want to create my own version of this look with the palette, kind of inspired by this. It actually is kind of neat. See, this one looks a little dirty to me. It's very cool, very artistic, definitely takes a certain skill level that I don't have to achieve the look. The artistry itself is beautiful. For me, I'm not as into the color combos. It almost looks as though a few shades might get a little muddy, and that was a concern that I have. I felt like a muddiness could kind of peek through in these looks. I kind of get that vibe with this. Don't love this look personally. Don't feel like all of the shades are as cohesive as they could be. This is a nice one. They kind of stuck in the more cool side of the palette, so of course those are going to look really nice. I just feel like if you're trying to play with too many of the different color stories all in one look, like this one right here, it could potentially not translate the best. Now that also depends on your skill level, but you know, I'm not the most artistic when it comes to creating looks, so that is something that I feel could hinder me. This is really pretty. This one is nice. I love a good monochromatic eye makeup look. I don't really combine too many different color stories in a look, so this is something that I would do. Love that she has some deeper skin tones modeling. This is the photo that we saw, right, of the pink on the inner corner and then the green out here. Wow, whoever did this makeup did a stunning job. This look in this photo is gorgeous. I love now that I can see that the green runs through down here. It's like a little flower. I love that. This one, I don't love the look of this. This looks like a bad combination of colors to me. It doesn't look the best, to me, in my opinion. You might like this look, but in my opinion, this is a look, if I created it with this palette, I would be like, not as into it. This is right up my alley. This is definitely where Glam comes into play. This looks like a look that you could get with the Glam palette. Absolutely stunning. I would love to create a look like that. This one is really nice as well. I like how they went from the light to the blue, then to the cooler gray color, whatever they used for this. That is beautiful. I could see myself, actually I kind of want to create this look too. That's really pretty. And I think this is the look that I just poo-pooed. It looks a little cooler now that I can see the lower lash line has the green, but I don't love like this reddish shade with the blue shade. This is what I feel like if I tried to create a look with this palette with too many color stories, it would look like this. Not my taste, personally. And then here are the swatches that you can see. She utilized, it looks like, a lot of this jazzy shade and Lucy, because a lot of the looks I noticed have a lot of the cooler tones to add the depth here. So I'm interested to see if I can play a little bit more with the greens to see what that does. But the palette looks a lot more cool, especially in these swatches, than I anticipated. Lots of grays, the greens are super duper cool toned. It looked like a deeper pastel palette to me before, but this leans more cool than I anticipated. I love the look of these swatches. If you go through the website just to show you, it will show you what it does, shipping, returns, ingredients. I love some brands, I swear, do not put ingredients on their website. I'm not an ingredient hunter personally, but it literally goes individually by each shade, which is very, very helpful for those of you that do like to know that. So I love that they have that available to you as well. And I believe this is a tutorial, no? Yeah, kind of a tutorial here. Natasha has a bunch of tutorials already out on her YouTube if you want to see how she did the looks. Oh, here they are right here. Oh, so I actually think Natasha did all of these makeup looks. Very, very cool. She's so talented, right? And then here we have all of the shade descriptions, and this is what I was curious about. I wasn't sure if Evergreen was a cream to powder, and it is. It looks like it's the only cream to powder in this. There's not too many different formulas in here that we aren't already familiar with. There's a lot of metallics in here, creamy mattes, and then we have one of the sparkling shades, which is Flutter right here. So that's kind of inspiration, a formula that's taken from the Glam palette. So there's just one of that, and the rest are just creamy mattes, metallics, and then the one cream to powder. So no new formulations in this one, which I like when Natasha does, but I will say all the formulas that she put in here, I really like. I think some people don't love the cream to powder. I love the cream to powder personally. I would have liked to have seen more, but her mattes are also just wonderful. Okay. So that's all we have. I just wanted to go over all of the stuff and information that Natasha Denona revealed for us and talk about it with you guys. And I think I'm a little bit more excited to play with this palette. I would say most of my assumptions right now are staying to what they were when I posted in my first shopper drop. As soon as this palette comes in the mail, I will absolutely be reviewing it for you guys. So if you have any questions, any comparisons you want me to make, put them down below. I will be reading them before I film the big review. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little makeup commentary video, just talking about what Natasha Denona released to us so far. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys, have a good one.